I'm going to record this from my car for a change. I hope the sound quality will be good enough. So anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Kinga and I started making YouTube videos to document for myself and my friends how I am reinventing myself and my whole life after divorce. In this video, I want to talk about how we can change the way we feel about certain things, how our emotions play a key role in what happens to us and why. And obviously, if you like or if you want to like this video, go ahead. You can also subscribe to my channel while watching it. I used to live by the quote, life is not happening to me, but it's happening for me. Thinking that everything happens for a reason, and even when shit hits the fan, it happens in my best interest because it will either lead me to something better or it's teaching me something. And when I became an avid listener of Abraham Hicks and everything law of attraction, I understood that, okay, life is not happening to me, but I am inviting everything that is happening to me. Like, I am the creator of all my experiences, good and bad. There's no outside force that orchestrates things around me to teach me or punish me or reward me or whatever, but instead, whatever I am giving my focus and energy to, and whatever I am a vibrational match to, I simply invite that to my reality. And I always say that it can be empowering or scary at the same time, depending on how you decide to look at it. Are you willing to take responsibility for all that happens to you? Because if you do, you also have to take responsibility for your emotions, for how you feel, for what your vibe or vibration is. Because you attract what you are offering vibrationally, what signal or feeling you're sending out, which is not necessarily what you truly want to attract. You may ask, how am I responsible for how I feel? Like, is it not normal or obvious to, for example, feel sad when a close relative dies? I mean, no, because your emotions will depend on how you choose to look at things or what thoughts you decide or allow yourself to think. If you live by the notion of death being a sad thing because it means the end of something, then of course, yeah, you're gonna feel sad. But if you look at it like nothing ever dies, nothing ever ends, we are eternal beings, it is only the physical part of us that we let go of and we simply re-emerge to non-physical. So it's just like going home. Then you will probably not feel like what happened is the end of the world and unacceptable and tragic. Also, if you look at it like, thanks God, my relative doesn't have to suffer anymore, you know, if they, for example, died from an illness. But then again, you may feel, relief or even gratitude if that's the case. Or if you choose not to concentrate on the physical absence of the person, but instead you will focus on the good memories you shared, the fun you had together, or that you can still get in contact with the person, but in a very different way, then again, it will not be as painful or unbearable. I mean, I wasn't a conscious creator at the age of 18, like far from being conscious. But I know I felt a huge relief when my dad died after spending like 1 year at hospitals going through the worst of the worst. And I remember I was feeling happy and light at his funeral. I remember I was the one comforting others. And now it may weird you out, but again, it was just a feeling coming over me, which I happily accepted. It could also just be that my brain couldn't process, what I was dealing with. It was unable to deal with the trauma and the loss and maybe just shut down. I don't know. But I remember it all came to my understanding, like gradually that he's not there anymore. Like, maybe in like 6 months or a year or so. I know that because I remember at one point I even called him on his mobile because it didn't register with me that he's not going to pick it up anymore. And I just understood everything when it just went to his voicemail. But even after that, I felt this happiness inside knowing that he's not suffering anymore. And now I get to take him everywhere with me. Because what you need to know is I grew up living with my mom and I only got to see my dad like every second week for the weekend. And yet I was very close to him, like every daughter is close to their father. And then when I moved abroad right after his death, I felt that finally now he was there with me anytime I wanted to talk to him. I could just talk to him, and it felt really good and safe, and I always felt his support. And of course I had occasional sad times, and I was crying over, like missing him, and I felt really bad for him not physically being there, especially, at my graduation or at my wedding. But I just wanted to give you this example that depending on how you are looking at even the worst situation, you have total control or responsibility for how you allow yourself to feel about it. And if you have a choice, why not choose something that feels better, right? How about situations when someone is giving you a hard time or trying to piss you off on purpose? Even then, it's your responsibility how you let that affect you. Will you allow it to get you mad, or can you keep your cool and balance? I know you got to be a very conscious, very centered person in order to be able to control your emotions in such situations, but I think it's possible, It may take a lifetime to learn, but I think it's possible. And Abraham Hicks said it once, that if you are truly in alignment, you wouldn't even take notice of such actions, because, it wouldn't be your vibration. You wouldn't even notice it. So it wouldn't affect your mood and feelings. So again, my emotions are my responsibility. And this is something I have accepted, and I thought I understood, yet I'm still learning it, because I tend to forget about it at times, and I tend to blame others at times for how I feel. But a recent experience of mine is actually teaching me the hard way that I have to really, really do my best to stay aware at any circumstances and take full responsibility. Why is it important? Because if you can master your emotions, you can master your life, they say. And being able to control or take charge of how I feel seems like the most powerful tool to me, to be honest. What if nothing could get me upset or angry, hurt, scared, worried? What if all I could feel was happiness and joy, contentment, satisfaction, love, appreciation? I tell you what would happen. I would probably stop sabotaging and screwing up my life, because I would be able to attract only positive outcomes, an abundance of positive people and opportunities. And when I say I'm learning this the hard way, I mean that I have recently lost something that was very, very, very precious to me. And feel free to replace the word something with a job, an opportunity, a person, a business idea, a relationship, or whatever, because the same principle will apply to them all. So why did I lose this something? Because I allowed fear, i.e. negative emotions, creep in. And as soon as I felt that this thing is very important to me, I started to worry that what happens if I lose it? I was fearing its loss already. Why? Probably because of previous experiences, because I already lost it a couple of times prior to that, and that fear kind of stuck with me. And you could say that, yeah, it makes sense, but no. I still could have just stopped being lazy about my vibration. I could have just stopped and observed my feelings, label them, name them, say it out loud that, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And that could have already taken half of the power away. The power of, these emotions. And then I could have just told myself that, hey, Kinga, you are making this up. You are feeling off, which only means that you got disconnected. You separated yourself from what you truly want. That's why it feels off. Your emotions are your clear indicator of how far or close you are to being in alignment with your source energy, your higher self, your true desire. And you cannot attract what you truly want if you are feeling off about it, if you're giving energy and focus to not having it or losing it, because that creates this vibrational mass, vibrational discord, and whatever you are thinking, feeling, or focusing on is what you are attracting, which is not always what you truly desire. And I was giving my energy to the fear of loss. So within 2 hours, I lost it completely. Not just my mind, but that precious something. as well. I mean, I tried to get it back, once I centered myself, I calmed down and I realized that I fucked up. But by then it was just too late already. The previous 2 times when I lost this something due to temporary misalignment probably, I managed to attract it back to me with time, How? Well, simply by just getting back into alignment, meaning I stopped focusing on the loss and how awful it made me feel, and I just let all the resistance in me go. And I surrendered to the fact that I lost it. And I still kept this positive feeling in me that I used to feel while I was having it, without giving it any specific details, just focusing on the happiness and joy I felt while being close to or owning that something previously. And both times, it found a way back to me, but not in its original format. It came back to me sort of like upgraded or like a better version of it. I guess I had to lose it in its previous format because it was not serving me, like it wasn't 100% there yet, but pretty close. But when I gave it time and I stepped back from it and I upgraded my thoughts and feelings about it to match my true desires, it came back to me, but being a better version of itself. Because that thing was meant to be mine, and it probably wanted me the same way that I wanted it. And as soon as we were vibrational match again, it got attracted back into my reality. I could have attracted another thing that would have made me feel the same way, but that was the thing I was being matched up with at that point because that was the perfect match to my vibration, and because that thing managed to evolve along with the evolution of my desire. The same thing can happen in relationships too. Like sometimes a relationship in its current format fails, the people go like separate ways, they break up, and they will attract a new relationship, which sometimes manifests with the exact same person. Yet it will be a new, upgraded relationship. Now, finding myself in the same situation again, i.e. having lost this something, I know I should follow the same steps I did before, but it just, this time, it just feels so much harder to let go. Like I'm not 100% there yet. And letting go is key. You cannot have contradictory feelings in you, such as, I want this, I imagine having this, and at the same time feeling sad about the loss of it, like you understand why, right? Because it just confuses the hell out of the universe. It's not a clear vibration. It's a mess. So I know as soon as I can accept the fact that I lost this thing, probably for good, and yet I can still stay in the positive feeling it helped me generate in me while I was having it, then 2 things can happen. It either finds its way back to me with the added value of being more long-lasting this time, matching my evolved desire, or another thing shows up that will make me feel that way. So either or, I haven't lost anything. In fact, I gained more knowledge and more info on what I want, how I want to feel, and the importance of understanding that I'm not only responsible for how I feel, but I should really, really stay aware of what emotions I allow myself to feel, because they have the power to manifest my dreams or my worst nightmares. If you, just like me, tend to forget about your responsibility over your emotions and the power of being able to choose your thoughts when you find yourself in a stressful situation or when you are being triggered by something, it doesn't mean that you are a failure. It doesn't mean you're hopeless. It just means that you are human and you're still learning, which is fun. I would hate to be born already knowing everything, because then I wouldn't need to figure out anything. And I think I would be probably bored too. Just like being happy all day? Like, come on, who wants that? We gotta experience shit as well in order to really value the good stuff that comes after, I mean, that's just my point of view anyway. If you like this video, please give it a like and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Click the bell sign as well just to get notified about my weekly video releases. I hope to keep in touch with you. Take care. Bye. If you want a more intimate content and daily communication, please go and join my Facebook group called Kinga, Kremer and Friends.